welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the RDFL Netball Show. As we promised, we're back here on the eve of the finals to bring you up to date with everything that's happening in the Western Water A-grade netball competition here in the Riddell District Football and Netball League. Shaun Kelly's my name, in the host's chair as usual, as I almost choke on my own words there. Joining me as always, Kim Bailey, the AFL Goldfields netball manager. Hopefully you're a bit more eloquent with your words than I am at the moment, Kimmy.
Yes, Shaun, you're having a good run, aren't you, mate?
Going very nicely indeed. Great to be back here on the Netball Show. I'm excited, that's why. It's only a couple of weeks away from finals. And we've got a pretty good last fortnight of the home and away season coming up.
Yeah, really exciting. Some great matches, especially the top three teams have really got a tough couple of weeks ahead of them. So we'll see some sculpting of the ladder in the next few weeks.
And I suppose that's our first talking point, having a look at that ladder, which is on the screen at the moment, and seeing exactly what's going on in the RDFL competition at the moment. And as you can see, there's still a bit of a race on for just about every place in the top six. It is conceivable that every position could just about change between now and the end of the season, including that sixth spot, because we bat 7 deep here at the moment. Lansfield not out of it by any stretch at the moment. They are a huge chance to go into round 18 having to play for a spot in the finals.
Yeah, you have a look at it. They've got Woodend next week. We most probably think that
they'll start favourites.
They should win. The next week is a really interesting week. Old traditional rivals. They've got Romsey. Now, Romsey have been playing some really good netball.
They have.
Had a couple of players back. Danny Davidson has returned to the club. And is playing some really good netball and has really bolstered them. But Lansfield have had some great players in too. Ash Hyatt's actually been playing really well for them in goal defence, and Liv Pell as well. So their mid-court's pretty strong as well. So they're up. They've got a chance of still sneaking in. Diggers are in 4 points in front of them, and they've got Riddell, which is a massive task. Yeah. In saying that, Diggers had a really, really strong win last week.
Coming up against Woodend.
Yeah, so I think they scored, it was 91 goals, or close to that. So they had a really, really strong win. And then they've got Sunbury, who at this stage you could most probably pencil in for a win as well. But things could change, you know that. So, that's like last year, that spot was open.
Yep.
And it makes for a real exciting...
Pressure does strange things to people at times.
It
certainly does, especially when there's a final spot on the line, but also at the top of the ladder as well. We see Rupert's Wood Riddell pretty well clear at the moment, but some tough games for a couple of those teams in the end. Rupert's Wood potentially, whilst they sit on top at the moment, if they lose both of their last games, they could fall to third.
Yeah, really, really tough run for Rupo. They've got Macedon this week and then Riddell the week after.
Yes.
So their final series starts now.
Which could be who they end up playing in the finals, but they also could fall to third and be in an elimination game in the first week of the finals.
I don't think they will fall to third.
I don't think so.
If they're going to drop a game, it'll most probably be only one. I can't see them dropping both, if any. But, who knows? Depends what's available for injuries and ins and outs that happen each week. You never know. You look at their goaling percentages, 832. They've got the most powerful shooting combinations in the league at the moment. So, and their defence is pretty good, 394. So, it'd be really interesting to see where they sit. Riddell have been, I reckon, under the radar
a little bit, haven't
they? Too. I think because we know Rupo's got...
And we look at the Rupo side every week, and it's almost like the new superstars coming in and playing for them. Chloe Curran played on the weekend. We've seen Nat Billings playing some games. We've seen Ash Bradley, who's playing championship netball at the Storm, come in the last few weeks. Zoe Davies come in from the Bendigo League and played. Beck Anstey from the Sunbury Lions, as well as the familiar favourites that we've seen as well.
Where Riddell and Macedon have that set combinations each week, which could be a real big benefit to them because they're going to have that settled lineup. They know how each other plays every single week, and that could be a big benefit for them. We'll wait and see. It'll be a great game on Saturday, the Riverwoods Riddell game, which we'll touch on as well. But Mountain Centrals will be a little bit disappointed. They could most probably would have snuck into third spot nearly. Their percentages are a little bit below, but they had a loss on the weekend against Romsey, which
we'll talk about very shortly.
Unexpected, so that's dropped them most probably into fourth spot. But if Romsey keep winning, they could maybe pinch that spot as well. So who knows? It's a really great season.
Certainly is a fantastic season unfolding in front of our very eyes. Talking point number 2, obviously, looking at the game last weekend between Romsey and the Melton Centrals. And as you said, a bit of an upset result, but also one that will give Romsey some real confidence, and Lena Way will have taken a lot out of that win to say that, well, hang on a second, we're just not here to make up numbers in the finals this year. We can have a crack at this, and we know that Romsey, once it gets to finals, they grow. The Redbacks grow an extra set of legs if that's possible. They've already got 8 legs, and then they grow more. But you know what I'm trying to say.
I don't like spiders anyway, Shaun, so that scares me even more. More legs on spiders.
You know what I'm trying to say. Their record in finals in recent years is just awesome.
It is. And look, if you're a member of the Romsey Footy Netball Club, you'd be really pleased with what they've done this season.
Yeah.
So at the start of the season,
they were on their knees at the start
of course, they didn't have a team, and they were ringing me going, what are we going to do? We don't think we're going to have an A-grade team, and we have to. And then, Lena's come in, and Hope's come back to the club. She was thinking of going and playing elsewhere.
Yep.
And then we had Danny returning.
Chelsea Ross come in.
Chelsea and Steph Symes come over from Lansford. And one of the big inclusions is Caitlin Byron, who's been fantastic.
She's been fantastic.
She's a great player. Yeah, she's a really good player. Bronnie Blair played on the weekend as well and had a really strong game as well. Working in combination with Hope is extremely successful combinations. Danny Davidson has said coming back into that combination, into that lineup, playing wing attack. She loves wing attack.
She does.
Had a pretty severe ankle injury, and it just shows how tough she is. It was her ankle, 3-4 weeks ago, was like a tennis ball on top of it, and just kept playing through it. So, Tommy, she wasn't going to play a lot of games, but I think she's played.
Second half of the season, she's played a couple.
Yeah, she's played enough to qualify.
Doesn't matter now anyway, because the VNL season's finished.
Yeah, so they're a really good news story. I'm surprised at the margin, to tell you the truth, because I've seen Central's play.
15 goals?
Yeah, close to it.
Wow.
Yeah, so 18
actually.
Yeah, 18.
I can't count today. I can't speak, I can't count. What am I doing here?
Yeah, well, you're helping me.
No, I'm just here for my looks, obviously.
Beth Morabito has been in great form too. She's a superstar player of our competition.
She is.
A little bit down on the goals, 11 from 18 at 62%. But Vanessa...
What was Vanessa Seddon's shooting percentage?
71.
That's increased for her, and that's what she needs if Central's going to go deep into these finals, because we know she does have a very quick release in her shot.
Yep.
She gets a lot of ball under the ring there. She's just got to make them count when she gets them.
The problem is when you're shooting that low and you've got some big defenders on you, that there is the possibility if the timing on the jump's good that they can be deflected. So she's really got to look at that. But sometimes that quick release gets defenders.
It does too.
They're not ready, and she just flicks it. So and it goes in, which is a bit amazing. Really, they had a couple out too. Mel Ledd's back in the team, so Mel's just retired.
Heard that during the week.
She's just retired from VNL. Yep. So she's had a great career in VNL wise. So good luck.
There goes that recruiting move for next year then.
Jess May was away as well,
so
they missed her in the mid-court because she's such a link there, and Tran didn't play either. So they did have some outs, but take nothing away from Romsey. They did a fantastic job.
You can only beat who you put on court, and Romsey have shown that not only are they're not just going to make up the numbers, in this year's final series, but they could be a force, and it's probably now extremely likely that first final they're going to play Melton Centrals again, and that's going to give them all the confidence in the world.
Yeah, that'd be a good game, because if they're both at full strength, it'll be one of the games of the season, I think.
Certainly will be indeed. Talking point number 3 for this week, of course, our Sunbury Football Social Club Player of the Week award has been running all season. It's been a fantastic initiative by the team down at the Sunbury Football Social Club, one of the proud sponsors of the Riddell District Football Netball League this season. And as we do on each month's show, we'll bring you up to date with the recent nominees and, I suppose, winners of the award. $50 voucher to the Sunbury Football Social Club, which is good for a dinner for two and maybe a drink or two in there as well. So very, very generous from Phil and the team up there. Kimmy, who's it been since we last spoke?
Yeah, so we had some great players win the award over the last few weeks, and round 11 was one of our absolute superstars, I think. She's just a silky player to watch, and great shooter, and that's Amy Carroll, who's the biggest rest goal attack and coach.
Back in the team on the weekend, and didn't it make a difference? Had
a bit of a shoulder injury, I think, but she's just a phenomenal player. We're very lucky to have a player of her calibre in our league, so congratulations. I know Amy sent me a lovely little note saying to thank you for her award.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so she's a good girl. Number 12, or around 12 I should say, is a newcomer to our competition and another coach of Macedon, Kiara Stewart, and she's been a revelation for Macedon. It's just, she's rejuvenated their team really since she's come in. Great coup by Terry to get someone like her, and she's just changed the whole culture of how they look at their netball as well, and I think it's a real credit to herself where the team is at the moment.
Especially off the back of a season last year where there was a little bit of upheaval mid-season, and then they recovered, they made a grand final, and then they had Bet Colwell leave the club. And to be able to still be in that position it's a huge feather in the cap for Kiara and everybody at Macedon.
Yeah, and they brought some great players like Chloe Wilson's come in, and the young kids are getting games as well.
Tara Burnham's been fantastic all season long.
You know, they've done a great job, and they've been one of the powerhouses this year. When we thought we might have seen them on the skids, Kiara's come in and just changed it. So great award, and she's been playing some really good netball as well.
She has indeed. We might even get their number one supporter, Christiane, out to watch a bit of their netball in the finals.
You might go out there.
Maybe.
Loves netball too, don't you, Yendi? So round 13's winner, a little Jack Russell, as I call her. Pocket Rocket. Sid Moore from Rupert's Wood. Sid had a meniscus operation a few months ago now, and has bounced back and been in some magnificent form as well. She, even if with her VNL club, she's actually gone into goals.
Goal attack, I saw that, and I'll tell you what, I laughed the first time I saw it, but she was effective.
Yep, she was great. But this game that she played where she won the award, she was dominant in the mid-court, and it was one of the reasons why Rupert's Wood won that game. So congratulations to Sydney.
Well done, Sydney.
And, the next player, round 14, most probably one of my most favourite players in the league. I just love watching her play netball. She's a leader not only of her club but of our league, and that's Lauren Close. So an absolutely sensational player for Riddell, and she'll be out front leading them all the way this year if they're to go. And I think they'll go deep into the finals, if not all the way. So well done, Loz. You really deserve this award. You're a great player.
Well done, Lozzie. And then round 15 last week.
Round 15, this comes out of the Centrals and Romsey game. Now, this player again has suffered some pretty severe injuries over the last year or so. We haven't seen her much, but she's rebounded back. And I've been playing against this girl when she was playing when I was still playing and coaching Diggers, and that's Bronnie Blair, and Bron was a little girl then too.
I was going to say, Bron would have been about 12 when you were coaching.
She's about 15, but she was a superstar then, and she still is now. So, and she's a great member of the Romsey Football Netball Club, and had a really great game supporting Hope Evans on the weekend. So congratulations, Bronnie, great effort.
Well done to Bronwyn Blair and all of the other winners of our Sunbury Football Social Club Player of the Week Award. Still a couple of those left to go, and of course we'll bring those to you in our next edition of the Netball Show, which will be in the lead up to the first week of the finals, and also keep an eye on the RDFL's Facebook page because they'll be announced there as well. Which brings us into this weekend's games, round 16, and some pretty important games being played this week, including out at Lancefield Park as Lancefield take on Wood End Heskett. We know that Lancefield, we saw on the ladder before, they're just a game outside the top six, and there's still a huge chance to make finals if they get a good win this week, which won't be easy because Wood End Heskett have been tough at times this year and obviously have a very talented and a very young side. But Lancefield should start favourites in this game.
Yeah, I think so. Kelly Duff's done an amazing job with the Wood End girls, Wood End Heskett girls. So they're just up against it. And if Lancefield can get into the finals, they can cause some havoc like they did last year. They got in there and were just absolute menaces in there. And Alan has got him playing really well. He's recruited well. I don't think the likes of Stacey Gannon will be qualified, which will be disappointing because she's a great player and to get in there.
How many do you have to play to qualify again? Just refresh us on the rules.
Oh, I think it's 5, Shaun.
5?
Just off the top of my head, it is 5.
I thought it was as well.
Yep, it's 5. So I don't think she'll make it, but they've had some great goalers in. Reese Carter-Coleman's come in and done a really good job as well. Didn't play on the weekend, but again, we said Ash Hyatt, Liv Powers, Annika Shearer, all these girls have been playing some really good netball, Taylor Watson.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they'll have a comfortable victory.
Yeah, Lansfield for mine in this one as well. Really, really interesting game. Down at the indoor netball courts at Salesian College, or we think at this stage anyway, provided the footy doesn't get moved as it did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw the ground this morning. Taking my boys to school didn't look that flash, but anyway.
Rupert's Wood taking on Macedon. Well, they can't move this game to Sunbury because the Sunbury Lions playing at home this week, so you'd imagine it'll stay there and it'll stay indoors at Rupert's Wood. Does that help Macedon though?
Oh, yes.
This is going to be a huge game between obviously Macedon looking for a top 2 spot, Rupert's Wood wanting to hold on to their top 2 spot. It's just going to be massive. It's a finals preview.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a great game. It really depends who Rupo have in. You know, you never know. It's like
that's right.
It's like a low bag. You open up, you don't know what you're going to get, do you? There's that many different players that can come in and be fantastic. So Macedon have been really good. They had a really strong victory on the weekend. I think they scored 102 goals against Sunbury. So you know, they're in great form.
They are.
This game could go anywhere. It was really, really close last time. I think it was only maybe 2 or 3 goals.
It was about 5 goals. It was an Anzac Day game, but it was the first quarter. I think Rupert's Wood. There was one quarter where Rupert's Wood broke it open, and the other 3 were dead even. Yep. So it could go either way. But I just think on their home court, they'll have Nat Billings. So I think they'll have Stacey Northey as well. And Chloe Curran played on the weekend. Who played for Sunbury Lions last year. And going to run a team out of 7 goal shooters.
Yeah, virtually. So. But then you look at their defence. I think Katie Clark, I'm not quite sure she's there this week. I think she might be flitting off to Bali.
Half a lot.
But, you know, Beck Anstey most probably play. But then again, they've got a big game against North City as well. So, but you've got Tess Abbott there as well.
Ash Bradley maybe.
Ash Bradley, Zoe Davis. So there's some superstars all in that team. But as we said, Chloe Wilson's been...
Chloe Wilson. She's had Chloe Watson. That'd be the story of the week.
She's been playing really well, and so has Kiara. She can just flip from attack to defence really easily, even into the mid-court. So it's really, really tough one. I'm going to have to make a call on it, and I'm going to go Rupo.
Yeah, Rupo, simply because it's at Rupert's Wood, I think, is why I'm going to tip them. It's going to be a great game this weekend. Broadford taking on Wallen this weekend. A couple of teams that won't feature in the finals this year, but 2 teams that have, I suppose, shown a bit on the court throughout the season. And I think the Roos will start favourites on their home court in this one. Yeah,
they've done really well, I think, to come back from last year not having an A-grade team. So... and they've had some good wins. As I said, when you look at the ladder, I think they most probably fit in that 7th or 8th spot, most probably the 8th. So they're just not strong enough to get over the big teams, but they can beat the lower teams quite comprehensively. Wallen have really stuck to it this year and just kept going and going amongst a little bit of adversity as well. So
to be admired, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. Those girls and Kim Berger there, they've just done a fantastic job and they should be congratulated, but I don't think they'll get over Broadford this week.
No, Broadford for me as well. Sunbury Kangaroos at home against Romsey this weekend, and Romsey... don't think percentage is going to play a bit of a factor in where they're going to finish, because I think it's that 4th, 5th anyway. They're going to be playing Melton Centrals in that first week of the finals, but they're all about momentum heading into the finals now.
Yeah, they really need to keep going. I might actually drop in on the way up to basketball.
Oh, yes.
And have a look at that game to see what's happening there. Or else I might pop into Rupo and Macedon and see how I go.
Well, you could do both.
Could do both, yep. And but I don't think Kangaroos will be able to get over the height of Hope. And Chelsea, if she drops in there as well. And Danny's been in great form, as we said. And so I think it'll be a comfortable victory to Romsey. Yeah,
Romsey for me in that one as well. And then the last game of the round at the Riddles Creek Recreation Reserve, Riddell taking on Diggers Rest. Obviously, Riddell flying under the radar, as we said earlier in the show a bit this year, which is pretty tough to say for a team that's won a premiership last year and been right up there over the last couple of seasons. But Diggers Rest really need this game as well, because they drop this game, they could potentially drop out of the top 6 going into the last round of the season as well. And that's not what Amy Carroll wants in the slightest.
No, they had a really good victory on the weekend. One of the surprise packets for me has been Maddie Payne for Diggers. I think she might have come home from Macedon, so she'll most probably line up on Bet Call, who
Yep.
will be a really good matchup. And Maddie's really tall as well, and so she should be able to have a bit of a crack there. But
Yeah.
we know how good of a player Beck is.
Oh, she's great.
You know, she just
Even saw her at VNL level the other week, she didn't miss.
Yeah, I know, just killed it. it was
I
upsetting.
knew she was playing that day.
Oh my goodness! You know, she played an absolutely magnificent game that day. But down the other end, you've got Amy for Diggers.
Yep, Amy Carroll.
And it's just escaped me the other girl's name. I'm just looking for it now.
Oh, I know how you mean too. It's on the tip of the lips, but
just the other goaler. So I'll remember it in a minute. Sorry, but she's been playing a lovely brand netball, the two of them together, and I think the thing is that mid-court will let them down a little bit. Diggers. So,
against some pretty strong players in that Riddell midcourt. Kaylee Armstrong, Ellen Close, players like that.
And they've been. A couple of their younger kids have been having a run every now and then through too. So Meek Johns and Emma Croft, I think, has had a couple of runs up there as well. So great game, I think, ahead of us, but I think Riddell will have to win this one. Yeah,
sets it up for a big final week of the season. If results do go that way, we're really going to be looking at next week. Diggers on the Sunbury Kangaroos in round 18 and Lansfield taking on Romsey to decide that 6th spot. So watch this space because it's going to be a pretty thrilling final couple of weeks of the season, I think. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time in the lead up to week 1 of the finals to preview all of the finals action in the Western Water A-grade netball competition here in the RDFL. Kimmy, thanks for joining us once again this month.
Yeah, it's great. Really exciting. Can't wait for finals.
Definitely is an exciting time of the year, and we look forward to being part of it with you here on the RDFL Netball Show again in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you then.